Welcome to the video. We're checking out the book known as What Every Pianist Needs to Know About the Body. I've provided the link in the description for you to check out the book. And before I get into the video, I just want to say that whatever being talked about in this video is only the important points. I'm not really, reading out the whole thing. So if you want to know much more about the book, like if you want to dive deeper into it, then it's highly recommended that you go check out the book, because it's just wonderful. Now let's get into the video. Now we are on to the next place of balance, the knee joint. So we've learned that the weight of the femur is going to be delivered to the shin bone at the knee joint. The shin bone is the weight-bearing bone. The other one does not bear weight. The only motion that is possible at the knee joint is bending and unbending. We cannot rotate our knee joint. If you feel like you can rotate, then you're mistaken, because the rotation actually takes place at the hip joint, right there. When you're in balance, you will notice that the knee does not lock, nor does it bend. It also does not feel tense. If a person is chronically off balance, then the knees will lock themselves in order to stabilize the body and thereby reduce the pressure on the disc on the lower back. So locking the knees is a compensation for imbalance of the torso. It is an issue for pianists because if their knees are chronically locked when standing, then it will be off balance when sitting as well. Now we are going to be discussing about the ankle joint. So again, in the previous lesson we learned that the weight from the shin bone is going to be delivered to the foot through the ankle joint, which is at the front of the heel bone. When you're standing in balance, you can be aware that the weight is being delivered to the ankle joint. Some people also imagine that the weight from the shin bone is going to be delivered to the back of the heel bone instead of the ankle joint, which is going to put you off balance. For those people, their leg is going to be L-shaped. The weight is going to be delivered right there. But actually, it's more like this. This has to be mapped right. Also, proper mapping of the ankle joint is vital for pedaling. So here what you have to keep in mind is that the movement of the foot occurs right over there, not at the back of the heel bone. When you're pedaling at the piano, the movement must occur right there. You should concentrate over there instead at the back of the heel bone. Moving the foot up and down to pedal will necessarily involve some up and down movements of the ankle joint itself, and consequently of the rest of the foot. So this up and down movement of the leg means that pedaling involves movement not only at the ankle joint, but also it includes small movements of the knee and the hip joints as well. If a pianist sat in a back-oriented way, then the weight will be thrown backwards with the weight on the back of the thighs instead on the sit bones, and pedaling will be much harder and will be compensated by tensing. So from this, what we can understand is that we move our bodies not just as the individual parts. When we move, we exhibit freedom and fluidity throughout the body.